Welcome to Taking It to the Nub. I'm your host, Boston Jimmie. Tonight, we have a very special guest. You all know CAO Cigars, and I want to introduce you today to CAO Master Blender and brand ambassador for a long time, Mr. Ricky Rodriguez. Let me bring Ricky in. Brother, how are you today?
You know what? Excellent. Thank you so much for asking. But living the dream, living a life, and sheltered in my little man cave, like everybody else.
How's the family?
Everybody's safe. My daughter is in California, making her way to Oregon. So she's traveling today. So she's fine, and the wife is fine, and everybody's fine.
How old's your daughter now?
My daughter just turned 29. She's it's amazing.
We're gonna get into
she's been 12. Yeah, she graduated the University of Florida about now going on 7 years ago, and she's been traveling the world since that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's a little hippie. Raised a little hippie.
Wait a second.
You know?
Wait a second. I hold on a second. I just got to show this because she must take after her dad.
That is exactly. Yeah, I think that guy started that. Yeah, the little hippie. You know.
That's it.
She's good. She's wants to stay in the world and all that. So she's a great young lady to meet. If you ever meet her, you'll love her.
What are you smoking?
I am smoking the bones because I know that we're going to talk about the bones, but I have so many cigars I want to share with you and your fans of your show today. So right now, bones, and bones we launched last year, and it was a home run out of the gate. We got it into over 900 shops in less than 2 months. And that was a record for any cigar that.
Froze. I wait for Ricky to unfreeze here. Boom. And nothing like a live show. Where are we? Okay, we'll keep rolling here. If you guys can hear me, let me know. Text back to me if you can hear me, because it looks like Ricky froze. So give me a holler back, somebody. We lost Ricky. Ricky will be back on. Nothing about it like a live show. Yeah, I'm smoking the bones too. And someday soon, there'll be more of us smoking the bones. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Barry? How's everybody doing today? All right. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, we got to wait for Ricky to chime back in. We lost him. Jeff, how are you? David, welcome. Here we go. There you go,
okay,
man.
We're back.
I was carrying the show.
Always.
It's all good. Hey, it's a live show, man.
It is.
All right, so you were talking about the bones, okay? And I think the last stuff we got, you got into all these shops with it. It was one of the biggest rollouts you've had. So pick it up.
So it's just a great cigar. It has to do a lot with session. So we launched session 2 years ago, and then we followed up with bones. And it was a technique that we want to show something to the fans without kind of saying what we're trying to do. Is we're going to give you back-to-back 2 years in a row the same wrapper, but we're going to show you how important that wrapper is and how valuable we can make it. And so if you look at session, a deep black, really oily, Connecticut broadleaf. But this one, I want to say, guys, we can play with these tobaccos, and we're going to show you a deep brown wrapper, not a black wrapper. Give you some sweetness, but not as much as the session does. And because I wanted to highlight some of the blend other than the wrapper. And so that's that's a beauty of what I do. I can show through cigars different techniques and different things that we can do with the tobacco, because at the end of the day, Jimmie, you know this, we're all using the same tobaccos, and this a process of the tobaccos allows us to do different flavors, different bodies, different colors, but we're all using the same tobaccos.
So yeah, so we'll get into more of that as we get into the show, because I want to talk about blending, because you have a lot of experience in that. Before we get too far into the show, I want to let everybody know that tonight we're doing a special in-show giveaway. I mentioned this earlier. We're going to do a special in-show giveaway. There's going to be 4 questions that you got to answer. The first one to answer all 4. And if nobody answers all 4, whoever was the first one to answer 3. The 4th one may be a little bit harder. But we got a few things we're giving away today. One is this CAO Lotus lighter. That's number 1. This is all one package. One person's winning this tonight. Okay, I want to thank my followers that come in here. There'll be more giveaways on Saturday next week on the Wheel of Wonderfulness. But you get this very cool cup. And by the way, what's cool about this cup, besides the fact it's a good sippy cup and you can't spill it, so if you get a little like tipsy, you don't have to worry about it. But on the bottom, there's a bottle opener and also a bottle. So you can take this right here, stick it on the top of your beer bottle, and go
boom.
So you don't have to rip your fingers apart. Very cool. And then lastly, the other thing that comes along with this win, since we're talking bones tonight, is a bones ashtray. And what's cool about this, has a little cover, right? Cover it up, so if it gets a little too smelly, you can cover it up, throw a little maybe whiff out in there, and really make it all perfect. So there you
But
go.
Also, if you took that lid off and reverse it, that's a game of dominoes you can play called Mexican Train. Yep, that is the Mexican Train. So you set your first domino that everybody plays off that track. So that's that was going to be one of the sizes we're going to call Bones Mexican Train. And somebody says, it kind of sounds like a porn movie from the 60s. Okay, we're not going to the Mexican Train then.
That's good. All right, so let me let me just post these questions.
Okay.
So the first question is, what does CAO stand for? What does CAO stand for? You got the whole show to do this. We're not going to look at these immediately, so take your time. You might have to research it. Second question is, when was CAO founded? Third, where was CAO founded? And the fourth one is, when did Ricky Rodriguez take over CAO? So 4 questions. You guys go work on that. Go figure it out. Chime in when you can. I want all questions in one line so it makes it easy. Don't answer the questions individually. Put them all in one answer. Whoever comes up with the four answers will win that prize. If they don't come up with the 4, the first one to come up with 3, we'll go back and we'll pick that one. Meanwhile, let us continue the show. Now, you are a Florida native. Born and raised
in Tampa.
Tampa.
Right.
Yeah. If I understand correctly, your grandmother and grandfather were cigar rollers in Cuba.
Yes.
So how did they get over to Tampa and eventually you come to be?
Well, in 1952 and 53 was the first couple of years that Tampa outproduced Cuba, making Cuban cigars. And so we're manufacturing more Cuban cigars out of Tampa than Cuba was producing in Cuba. So unfortunately, my grandfather got caught in that wheel, and he was laid off from his factory. And so my grandmother and grandfather sat down at the dinner table and said, "We cannot survive on one income, and nobody's hiring rollers right now." So, and they were all master 7 level rollers. So there's 7 levels to be a roller, and a master 7 is the guy that or a girl that can do any shape, any size, in a green gauge, in a length. So it takes you years. So they kind of got around that table and said, "What are we going to do? Let's move to Florida. Let's move to Tampa." And sure enough, they get to Tampa in 1954. And my father followed in 1955, and the rest is history. Met my mother in 1957 and married my mother. And, I was born into this beautiful family. And I remember my dad never smoked one cigar in his life. He was a cigarette smoker. But remember going to my grandfather's and grandmother's houses on Sundays every week. And my grandfather smoked one cigar a day after dinner every night. And my grandmother only smoked one cigar a week. And it was Sunday after lunch. And we went out to the back, and she watched us play in the backyard. And I remember my grandmother right now. That my memory of my grandmother is with a cigar in her hand, smoking, watching us play. And so fast forward, never thought, being in Tampa, we played with cigars in high school. I wasn't a cigarette smoker, never smoked a cigarette, but it was cool to, get a cigar and walk around and all that. But I didn't really start to smoke cigars steadily until I was about 35.
Oh.
And I got into smoking cigars, learning about it, and I started to work with Jello Cigar when I
Well,
was
hold
40.
on. Before we get there, let's not give up
Mhm.
too much information too fast.
Okay.
Because people
Yeah,
can
yeah.
start connecting the dots to
Yeah.
these answers.
Mhm.
We'll give them that opportunity, but let's
Okay.
folks do a little research. But before you got into General Cigars, all right,
Mhm.
the fun part of your story, from what I gather, and goes
Mhm.
back to I imagine your daughter, before your daughter was born, you actually got introduced to the premium cigar world in a way through Lamar's class. I imagine your daughter was was
My only
being brought.
child, yes, and
So
I was in
Lamar's.
class. Yeah, and when I was in class with a gentleman named Dave Bullock, and we struck up this friendship of the time that we're getting together. And he was, "What do you do?" And I said, at that time, I was working for a carpet flooring company. And he says, "Hey, bro, you need to come to work with me. I'm a regional." And he was selling Nestle's candy bars. And he said, "You want to sell candy bars?" I, "No, no, no, bro. I'm not going to sell candy bars." And about 2 years later, called me back. And he says, "Hey, Ricky, I left Nestle's. Now I'm working with B&B beans, baked beans. Do you want to sell baked beans?" Like, "No, Dave, there's no value in my eyes in a can of baked beans. Come to my house and I'll share a can of baked beans with you." And he says, "Now," and then about 2, maybe 3 years later, he called me out of the blue again. He said, "Bro, I work for General Cigar." And I remember the first time that we went out to dinner, we went in Ybor City, and we're walking through Ybor City. And he said, "Dave, if you're going to be in Tampa, you need to smoke the cigar," because he was a cigarette smoker. We went in the shop. I picked for me, my favorite cigar at that time was a Fuente 858. So I put that up. But I know Dave was just starting his first cigar. So I looked for a Maca. I remember calling them Maca noodles. "Do you have Maca noodles?" And the guy says, "We don't carry any noodles here. We have a Maca noodle if you wanted that." "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah. That's one." And he shared that cigar with me, and he says, "This is great." And then he went to work with General Cigar. I said, "Bro, I work with General Cigar." I said, "Who is General Cigar?" Because a lot of people don't know that General Cigar owns Macanudo, Cohiba, Partagas, La Gloria, Punch, CAO. So you know what these cigars by the names are, the companies that they think that everybody's separate. And he said, "Bro, who's General Cigar?" He says, "We own Macanudo." And Cohiba and Parra, they said, LaGloria, bro, it's a great line. Do you want to work with us? It says, you know what, Dave, I'm ready to take that leap of faith. And I did it. And that was, I think Dave, every time he's still in the business, he's the vice president of sales for Rocky Patel. He's still in the business, Andy. I thank him every day. So you changed my life. You changed my life the better. And so that's the way I started in the cigar business with General Cigar.
So
And I
you,
was a salesman for about 4 years.
yeah, and you were pretty much the Florida regional rep,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes,
So I've
yep,
seen you around the state of Florida for a while.
yep. Mhm.
And then there came a point when you were tapped on the shoulder to do something beyond that. They saw your greatness in sales. They took a great sales guy and they turned him into
A
a
blender, a
blender.
blender.
You went,
The number one selling rep in the U.S. Because when I took over my territory, I had only half of Florida, so Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, and the Panhandle. And I was at that time we had 28 reps, and I was number 17 when I took it over. And I went to work, and I said, to Dave, he helped me. So there was a situation that I needed to leave General Cigar because I didn't make enough money based on what I was paid in my past. And I called him and said, bro, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And he says, Ricky, don't do that. Let me call Mr. Coleman, the owner, because we see a value in you. Already, we've seen your numbers growing, and you've only been with us for a year. And I said, Dave, I have to. And they called me back. They gave me a raise to help my family. It took me by shock that they gave me that amount of raise that they did. I said, Dave, if you help my family like this, I will be number one. He says, Ricky, you're never going to be number one because your territory is still too small. But I had an ace in my back pocket called ABC Liquor. And they went from a cabinet style unit to walk-in humidors. And they love our product. They love me. The buyer loved me. And so they went to the buyer and we said, if we kind of partner up with any cigar company, who would it be? General Cigar, by far, General Cigar. And they called me one day, said, Ricky, we're going to open 50. And the next month, 50 walk-in humidors. How many cigars do you think General Cigar could give us to fill up these humidors? I said, at least 150 boxes of styles and different blends. And you got it. You got it. And they ordered at that time, I think $1.7 million overnight to stock their humidors. And I went from number 17 to number one, and that instant. And then Mr. Coleman saw me and says, you have the ability not to own sell our cigars, but I love the way you share our stories, and I need some help. And a lot of at that time, a lot of the cigar masters were leaving. Ernesto Perez Creel was selling and going away from La Gloria. Benji Menendez was leaving. And so there was a gap. And he says, we're going to train you to become a blender. And it changed my life at that time. And so I trained in the factories for 6 months in the DR and 6 months in Honduras. And then I trained with Benji for 5 years. Benji really taught me the art of blending tobaccos together. The factories taught me the processing. How do we receive tobacco from the farm? What do we do with that tobacco from, aging, fermentation, to rolling, to selection, everything that was taught to me by the factories. But the blending came from, Benji, and that was it. And
how
that
long
was
did the process take to go through all of that mentoring and education?
Well, the factory was, like I said, a year solid. So I lived in the DR for 6 months, got home for 2 weeks, and they shipped me to Honduras for 6 months. And they allowed me to visit home or come home once a month for 3 days only. So I was living, breathing tobacco. And so after that, Mr. Coleman says Benji's going to go on tour for Particus, and we want you to help him because he's getting older and just learn from him. So just following this legendary cigar master, Hall of Famer, and he really shared his knowledge with me because he was the owner of H. Hutman
Right.
in Monte Cristo in Cuba. And so his grandfather taught his father taught him, and Benji taught me.
So we're getting some answers to the questions, but I'm
Mhm.
going to give a commentary to one of the answers. So everybody is, we're all going to play fair. So the person who made that comment can decide to change it later. CAO, many sites you go to are going to say that CAO was founded in 1992. That is incorrect. Okay, dig a little deeper, you'll get a bigger story, and we'll talk about that story in a little while when we come out with the final answers. What was the first cigar for General that you worked on?
That would be the tapaqueros that I made for La Gloria. So when my training was done, the year in the factories, 5 years with Benji, I went to work with La Gloria because at that time we formed this team called Team La Gloria. It was me, Michael Giannini, and Yuri, the general manager of the factory for La Gloria. So it took really three guys to replace one guy, Ernesto, because he was a living, walking legend. And matter of fact, Cigar of the Year was his cigar this year. So he taught me a lot about fermentation. We'll get into that. So for this first cigar, I remember telling Michael, I want to do a cigar that has the same blend, but I'm always asking, what's the difference between Maduro and Natural? And I said, guys, it's hard to explain unless you smoke this two cigars together. So we made a cigar, not a barber pole, but separate wrappers. So the first half of your cigar was the Natural from Connecticut, and then about halfway it turns into the Maduro, and you can experience so quickly the amount of that wrapper's importance when you were smoking that cigar. So um, it was taken off the market, unfortunately, about maybe 2 years ago. But that was the first cigar, and then I did Evalesco. It was a shaped cigar, and then we did Series N because we already had Series R in the market and Series R, and I'm having a great time. And they tapped me on my shoulders. Your days were working with the Gloria is over. We're shipping you to Nicaragua, and you're going to start to blend and work with CEO because we just took over CEO at that time.
What was your favorite blend to date that you created?
You know, it's like children. It really is because you if you have I only have one, but I remember asking my mom and dad, you have five children. Who's your favorite? And my dad says, depending on my mood and depending what I'm doing. And it really was true. So the most proud of all right. I was had an interview with the Europeans, and they presented this question: what was your most proud of cigar? What was your scariest cigar? And what is your favorite cigar? And so that kind of changed the way I think about the cigars. The one that I'm most proud of is my Palone, because we worked like 3 years on that cigar because we're taking a process that was done in Cuba 100 years ago and then trying to do that same thing 100 years later. And so I'm very proud of Palone. That was something that's very proud. Scariest was I would say Flathead. Flathead because I only worked on Flathead for a week, and we had we had the blend and the packaging in less than a week. And typically, they would give you anywhere from 6 months to a year to work on the design and the blend. But we did that cigar in less than a week, and I was very nervous and scared when we launched that cigar. It's like maybe these guys are not going to like it, and it's the #1 selling cigar in CAO today. It's amazing for us.
Okay, so the last question is when you took over. I've got mixed answers here. And we're going to go back because one is close but completely wrong on where.
Okay.
So we're going to throw this out there right now. Tyler Garcia, and if I got it right, Tyler Garcia says CAO stands for Acano Ere Azne. I can never pronounce that.
I don't either. That is the correct answer. It is the owner of that company initials. Yes.
Okay. It was founded in 1968. That is absolutely correct. And it was founded in Nashville. That is absolutely correct.
Yes.
Let's stop on that for a second. 1968, it was not, and I repeat, not a cigar company. He made pipes.
Pipes and pipe tobacco was his claim to fame. That was it. And so 26 years ago, he got into making premium cigars. So we are, as far as CAO Premium Cigars Company, is 26 years old.
There you go. Now, the last question is, when did Ricky Rodriguez take over? And the answers I'm getting, and Tyler was the first one to say this, and I'll let you comment on it, 2018. Yes or no?
2008. No.
Okay, folks, 2018 is not the answer. You know the other three answers. Now go figure out the last answer. If you don't figure it out when we get close to it, Tyler's going to win this.
Right.
Okay? Because he's the first one to get the other three correct. So go out there and research it and let me know later if you find the answer. Meanwhile, let me take a quick break here and do a big shout out to my sponsors, because without them, this show is always a little harder to do. So today's show is brought to you by Frontline Cigars. Frontline Cigars is always on the front line of flavor, innovation, and giving back to those who serve. As a first responder-owned company based in the Chicagoland area, Frontline Cigars strives to give back to those that serve, whether it be first responders or military, through numerous charitable foundations. At frontlinecigars.com, you will find a wide range of cigars from boutique to everyday brands, in addition to a fine selection of cigar accessories and swag. There's always something new to try at frontlinecigars.com, like the latest Stogie Press sampler, which consists of 5 90+ rated cigars. Follow Frontline Cigars on Instagram and Facebook, and check them out at www.frontlinecigars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Tarazona Cigars. Tarazona Cigars, they do it with passion. That's not just the statement. If you know Eddie Tarazona, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every cigar that's rolled is rolled to the highest quality by masterful rollers. Each hand that touches the process takes pride in the quality and the craftsmanship of every cigar that goes into every box of Tarazona. So next time you're looking for a fine smoke, do it with passion and reach for Tarazona. You could follow Tarazona Cigars on Facebook and Instagram, and you can visit them at www.tarazonacigars.com. I'd like to thank my sponsors. As I mentioned, it's always a little harder without them. All right. So let's talk about what's happening, what's new, what's out, what are you doing besides Bones?
So Bones was the last year. This year we have, well, let me count. 1, 2, about 3 that I want to introduce. The first one out of the gate is going to be the new cigar called Moral Coil. Let's see if I can show you
this. Hold on, let me spotlight this. Let me bring this in here and go. Okay, you got to turn it. That's beautiful. Wow.
Okay,
that's a big
and
box.
so you're going to be able to open it up. Hopefully the cigars don't fall out. But you're going home, maybe this way. Gives you a little story of the cigar too. Okay, and this is a kind of a small batch cigar that we're going to release in March. I only made about 5,000 boxes. So once it goes out, the reps will sell out of this to the shops in less than 2 days, and it's going to be on your shop. And so grab it, because if you can smoke it, it is a bold cigar with flavors that you've never tasted before. can't see it, but it is
now what
unbelievable.
Is the blend of that cigar?
You know what?
You're the blender.
Yeah, I don't really want to share that. I kind of about 5 years ago got away from answering that question before they smoked the cigar. Why? Because what I found out, when you give a cigar to somebody and said, okay, the blend is this. Oh, I'm a great example. Do not like I do not like any Cameroon. And now I made a cigar called Vision, and we brought it back, and I went to work with Benji on a Cameroon cigar, and it's changing my mind of the way I look at Cameroon. So when you have that question asked you, what's the blend, before they light it? Okay, if you mention one style of tobacco, I don't know, nope, I don't like that XYZ. Well, maybe you didn't like it in that other presentation. Maybe you'll like it this one. So I kind of just, guys, smoke it, judge it without knowing, and then I'll tell you the blend.
So what is it of Cameroon that people have issues with?
I think it's a black and white cigar, meaning you either get it or you don't get it. I think sometimes it's an old wrapper, it's old style. Oh, my grandfather used to smoke Cameroon. My father. We're now, kind of Central American guys. I want Nicaragua, Mexico, Honduran, blend. So I think it's, black and white. For me, it was always kind of bitter. And one of my favorite cigars of all time is Fuente, and their Cameroon, it to me was sweet. And then I found out why it was sweet. And that changed the way I look at Cameroon. So you can even teach an old dog a new trick and say, without you thinking too much into why you do not like the cigar, just blindfold yourself and smoke the cigar, and then tell me. But I think it's just Cameroon is that unique flavor you either kind of enjoy or enjoy.
Yeah, I enjoyed the new Vision. I gave it a nice rating, and
right.
I was, it's expensive and it comes in fancy box, and some people think it's all gimmicky, but in the end, that cigar actually was a nice cigar. It was expensive, but it was a nice cigar.
Right.
What else you got coming
out? We have this one is the new Zocalo.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
So this is going to be a part of a series, an ongoing series. This is going to be regular production. Zocalo, about 3 years ago, we said to the fans, the CEO, would you ever accept a wrapper from Mexico? Because we never use a Mexican wrapper. And so we made one size, and it was a 6x60, and launched this special cigar out there. And the feedback, it was very positive. About 95% of the people said, we love the blend. The cigar is great, but we're not that large ring gauge guy. So if he can ever introduce a cigar again with the smaller sizes, we will love that. We could support that. But we're not a 6x60 guy. We're more of a Toro size or a Robusto size. So listen to our fans all the time. So why not? And so we're going to introduce a Soclo, and it's going to be a part of the World Series. So now we have Brasilia, America, Italia, I think Colombia, Colombia, Nicaragua, and now Mexico.
So the
And then
Colombia cigar, that did you have your hands on the Colombia cigar?
yes, yeah, that's my blend, and so yeah, and that was a great story too because we're trying to highlight the blend, not the wrapper. 95% of the time, whenever we make a cigar, anybody, we're trying to highlight the wrapper. The wrapper is your piece of steak, your piece of fish, piece of chicken. Your fillers are there to enhance that wrapper. So I've always said, what's the wrapper's importance? Take a steak. If you invite me to your house, you're never going to cook a steak for me naked. Only go to your grill and just pop that steak on the grill and serve it to me because they're going to eat it. It's like, bro, great piece of beef, but there's no flavor. Oh, I forgot salt and pepper, garlic, butter to enhance that flavor of that steak. That is your filler. But 5% of the time, the manufacturers say, I don't want to highlight the wrapper. I want to highlight the filler. And so Colombia is just filler. And so I remember going to the factory. I was in the factory and we went to Posesia to buy some tobacco. And I was walking in and walking out was Rocky Patel. And he said, hey, what are you doing here? I thought, I'm seeing some new tobacco. He said, well, look, I hope it's not the new Colombia tobacco. I tasted it. I don't like it. And so I went in, he left. And that was playing my mind. And all of a sudden, the guy, we have a special tobacco for you that we want to show you, Ricky. And I go, what is it? Colombia. Oh, really? Because Rocky didn't like it. So I'm setting my mind up. I don't like it. I don't like it because Rocky doesn't like it. And says, taste this Puma. And I tasted the Puma and said, bro, I don't know. Nope. No, I don't want it. I don't want to work with it. It's too salty. It was salty. I said, no, I don't want to work with it. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. Your company just bought 50,000 pounds. I don't think they're going to, I don't think they're going to ask you for permission. They're going to tell you to work with it. And what I discovered, that Colombia is like, if I serve you a spoon of salt in your mouth, you're not going to like it. But take that same spoon of salt and spread it out of the steak, you'll love it. And so it is one of my favorite cigars today. It's a mild cigar with a lot of flavor. It's one of my favorite cigars to begin my day with. So if you have never smoked in the Colombia, try it because it is just fantastic. But it is a mild cigar, and that's the reason we wanted to introduce that cigar to the market.
Now, that cigar was one that I described to people as very nutty.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is causing the nut in that cigar? What leaf is it?
That is going to be the combination of that filler because that wrapper that we're using is not going to offer that to you, but it is almost like a salted peanut, a salted nut. And so that saltiness is coming from the Colombia tobacco, but the nutty flavor is coming from the other tobaccos that we're blending, like Honduras. So that is the reason you're getting that nutty, kind of salty peanut flavor to it.
Okay, so I got a couple of more post here. Let's start with one, which seems to be a bunch of people throwing it in there. 2011. Right, Ed?
Yeah, yes, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So 2011. Now Tyler was the first one to get all three right.
Right.
And then of course, because of that, everybody else is throwing everything out there. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Tyler, Adam Machado was the first one to throw out 2011, it looks like. Let me just check that. It looks like Adam Machado. Okay, so Adam was the first one to throw out 2011. So here's what we're going to do, okay? Since we already kind of gave away the first three as correct. So Tyler, you're going to win the package. Adam, I'd like you to choose whether you want the ashtray, the lighter, or the cup. You just tell me what you want, and we'll ship that out to you. I got ashtrays. Thank you, Ricky.
No.
I had a
Yeah,
big
I'll
box,
send
so
you more. I'll send you. We'll talk offline. I
My
don't
wife-
think you're going to go to the wheel and say, "Oh yeah, there's a lot."
My wife went out the
spaces
door the other
here.
day, and she comes into my lounge. She says, "It's like Christmas at the front door. There's a whole bunch of packages for Stogie Press." And like one of them was this big box, and I said, "The heck is in this box?" And I open it up. I'm like going, "Holy crap! This is from CAO with all of the ashtrays and lighters and stuff. You guys are amazing. Okay, you really are. So I would truly
It's
appreciate
good to
it."
be king with somebody else's money. You know. So I'm a giver.
Absolutely. Okay, so moving along, let's go back to, so what else? Anything else coming out? Did we cover it?
Right now we have some new kind of what we're doing with. I'll show you something else. We're repackaging. So we're looking at our core lines, the lines that we really didn't have anything to do with, because I launched OSA, I launched Columbia, Flathead, V19, the Amazon trilogy. But we realized some of the older ones are still very popular in the market, like Brasilia, still #2 bestseller. The #3 best-selling cigar in CAO is Gold. CAO Gold, the first cigar they ever launched, and so it's still rated last year in 2020 the best mild cigar on the market. And so we're thinking about that. So how about the Maduro and the we're going to repackage the Gold and the Maduro, and we're also going to repackage the Cameroon. And this
Oh,
is
so
a
this is the new packaging?
new packaging, and this is a new size of the Cameroon that we're going to introduce, a little dog walker like this.
Wow.
Figurado that you can spark up, walk your dog, or a short, quick little smoke, and we're going to do that. So we're repackaging a lot of like talking about repackaging. There's another cigar that you have to share, or you're going to smoke later on, called the Spark Plug. And the Spark Plug, yeah, and the Spark Plug was introduced in the market in a little box, a little green box, and if you open it up, the little green box had 18 cigars and a spark plug kind of unit. And so the guys were saying, I don't know where to fit this cigar because it's so small. So what we did was go back to the basic, and we're launching the new spark plug box.
Got turning around the other
So
way.
now it looks like the family of the Flathead.
Flip it
So
around the
all
other way,
these
Ricky.
Flathead,
Flip it.
huh?
You're upside down. Flip the
Oh yeah,
box. There you go.
that's
Very
the
nice.
spark plug. So now it fits on when you're carrying the full line of the Flatheads, the 6x60, the 7x70, the 54, the piston, now you have that box that's going to look and feel like, oh, that is part of that. And so, and then I have V21 coming out. I don't have samples right now, but V21 kind of playing off of V19 that we released last year. That we're going to do again this year. V21, it is, the packaging is unbelievable. The cigar is phenomenal. Yeah.
So we got comments coming in on all of this. So Nick from the Cigar Clown says the spark plug is one of my favorites. Adam Machado says I love the V19 and the 660. Tyler Garcia is saying my favorite is the MX2, and I cannot disagree with that. I love the MX2. Since the first time it came out. And the spark plugs, the flathead. How many are in the new box of spark plugs, Nick asks?
That's going to be 22, 27, because it was 18, 25.
All right. Jeff Walsh says the flathead. I want to go back real quick because we were in the middle of talking and this comment was flying through. So we have some folks that run or own shops, and they asked the question, when you get this ashtray, why is there dice in it and not dominoes?
Okay, so we're going to place what, all right, bones is what I call dominoes. We play dominoes in my man cave or my garage all the time. Instead of texting the guys, we're going to play dominoes, we use a term in Tampa, in Miami too, we're going to slap down some bones. And so we're going to place one domino in each box. So like, okay, you have one domino. What are you going to do with this domino? Because you need, 50 more to play the game. And so, okay, so who else calls, anything like bones? All right, anybody up north that rolls with dice is going to say, bro, we're going to the alley and we're going to roll some bones. And so that's the reason we put the dice in it instead of the domino.
Right.
And if you look at the lid, if I don't have it, but when you look at that, the box of the box, you flip that lid over, and you can toss your dice in that. Now, this box, the box that you comes in.
Oh, I didn't get that box.
I'll send you one of these because hold on. I think I have one. Where's that at? Because this is kind of neat. I do. So when you receive or you buy a box, you're going to, this is the way it comes. Okay, bones, but you take this lid off to get to your cigars. This is a lid, but if you flip that lid right side steel, and you roll your dice on that little lid. I don't know if you can see.
There you go. Oh yeah, very cool.
So that now you can get around with your boys and say, you know what, I'll bet you I can roll a 7 before you do. And if I do, you buy my cigar. If I don't, in less than 10 rolls, I'll buy you a cigar. So that's the reason we put dice, because everybody up north and out west calls dice the bones.
Now, when you're very heavy into the blending, you also heavy into the packaging and the marketing concepts like that bones box.
Yeah. Because again, it's my job to work with the factories and marketing, and so flathead is kind of my thing. Amazon Basin was my thing. We knew that Colombia and Nicaragua was going to be part of the World Series, but they give me the chance to name the cigars, work with the artists to make the designs of the bands, the boxes, and all that. Sometimes, maybe 80% is what I dream of. 20% is marketing. Yeah, that doesn't fit this line. How about this? And oh, yeah, that's gorgeous. Because even I remember Amazon Basin. I wanted a band, like a white band, dirty. We're going to stain it up, and one of the rollers were working with me and said, "Hey, how about this?" And it was tobacco band, and that was so they took that and ran with that image. That's the reason. So that was done by marketing to the that design. Yeah,
So let's
but
talk
yeah,
a little bit about Amazon Basin. So Amazon Basin, the original, did it predate you?
mm-mm, mm-mm.
So that you
No,
your hands
that
on
was my
Amazon original.
yeah, that was my puppy too, because I remember when they introduced that tobacco, the buyer of General Cigar was in Brasilia, and they were looking for anything unique and different, because that's the DNA of CAO, is always introducing foreign tobaccos. They were the first guys to introduce on a mass market premium cigar a wrapper from Brazil. And so, okay, how about tobacco from Italy for Italia? How about tobacco? So they were always doing this. And so when it was presented to General Cigar, the buyer says, no, we don't want this tobacco. We don't know how to work with this tobacco. We don't know what it tastes like. So it is in a tube. It's in
It's
a tube.
rolled. It's right.
Yes, it's strange. It's strange, and so it's the only tobacco that we've received in our factory is ready to be used. We do not ferment it. We don't age it. It is ready to be used. And so when we receive that, so we introduced Amazon Basin in 2015. I think 2015, we introduced that series and started with that, and then it just took off. Because it's so different. So everybody's smoking. I don't know if I like it. I love it. Don't. I can't stand. I can say this. I have never tasted a cigar like this.
It is
And
bold.
so anytime we launch it, it is sells out in a heartbeat. And so we have plans to introduce another time of Amazon Basin in the fall of this year, and then maybe 5,000, 6,000 boxes, and it's gone. And then hopefully, I'm going to blend another one using that same tobacco, but a different style. Like I love the Anaconda, because we can't do that because the wrapper that we used on that cigar, they don't grow anymore. And then we follow that up with Oriano, and that was a complex cigar, giving you that flavor. But I think we're going to do another version of something with that tobacco. But right now, we know that we're going to introduce the Amazon Basin again in 2021.
Now, if I understand correctly, that is an extremely rare leaf. It's only grown the in fields that have no trees around them. You're not knocking trees down. You
No,
find
exactly.
areas in the Amazon Basin where there is growing areas, and
Yes.
grow that. That's where that tobacco is grown. Extremely limited quantity, right?
For hundreds of years. We don't know where the tobacco comes from, where they got these seeds from. We don't know the strain, because every tobacco that we use in cigars today has some relationship back to Cuba. But this is the only tobacco that we cannot, as deep as you go, you don't see Cuba at all. And so the local Indians grew it once every 3 years. Why? Because when they grow that tobacco, they grow about 5,000 pounds. That's enough tobacco to for them to chew. They don't smoke it, to chew for 3 years, and then they'll plant another one and another one. And so we now have partnered up with the local Indians, and they grow it every year for us.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, but only 5,000 pounds. If we ask for 10,000 pounds, nope, you have 5,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds.
You can use the
And
same
so,
field, or you rotate areas to do that.
yes, yeah. And so they're going to, they grow it, they they tie it in this kind of unique system. It's maybe this
Looks like a
thick
big
at
snake,
about,
all
it
coiled.
really is, because it may be about 5 foot long, and they bury the tobacco under a tree. The tree produces fruit, is very sweet, and it falls from the tree, interacts with the soil, and that is what the flavor is coming from.
Wow.
But if you go to the tree and eat that fruit from the tree, you die a horrible death. It is very poisonous. So I'm smoking a Fuma. This only, and the guys are explaining, and yeah, he said, "Oh, the sweetness." I'm buying into this. Yes, I could say, but if you eat the fruit from the tree, you die, because I couldn't get it out of my mouth quick enough. He said, "No, no, 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 don't worry about it, because they don't only smoke it; they chew it and they swallow the juice. So they're not spitting the juice out; they swallow it. And so if they can do that, we can smoke it.
So
And
we
so that,
found the forbidden tree.
right, right, right. It's amazing. Who ate that fruit for the first time, died? Who's the guy that says, you know what, if I bury it 3 feet, died. Okay, 5 feet, died. 10 feet live, and we can chew it. Okay, so I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and I thank them, because it is one of my favorite cigars that I can smoke every day if I can.
Wow. Wow, that's a fantastic story. That is something I did not know. We always learn something new on taking it to the nub. I'm glad the guests always bring something of interest, because that I did not know. So
It's
I'll add
amazing.
that to my vocabulary of things and cigars. At this point, let me quick go through what's new in news and reviews on Stogie Press this week. Um, yeah, of course, it's confused. Hold on. So new in news and Stogie Press. We will go right here. Okay, so in reviews, okay, we took a look at the new Frontline Cigars Defender Robusto. This is their second one that they've come out with. The Frontline Cigars Defender is a cigar that is built around giving back to our military service. Some people like to call it a green line because it has some candela on the head and the foot. This cigar here had nice flavor. I'll just go through it real quick here. $6.85 is a no-brainer on a bundle count of 25. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a terrific cigar. Had fantastic flavor profile running through it. It was a medium strength cigar. I will say that there were a few points that we had where it had a little bit of an off burn that was running, and it got kind of a flaky ash started picking up near the end. But other than that, it was really good. One of the things I got out of this cigar, which I get every now and then, was popcorn. Okay. And that's kind of like this aroma, like walking into a movie theater. I also picked up something I've not picked up in any cigar. I pick up citrus, but I distinctively got lime citrus in this. I don't know why, but that's what my palate told me. Okay. And it had this real Cubanesque, it was extremely floral front note when you first fired it up. So very nice cigar. Great job from Frontline Cigars. Um, the other cigar we took a look at was the Gran Habano Blue and Green. Gran Habano Blue and Green actually came out late 2019. They had, this is an extension to their blue and green line. I like the original, the Churchill. This one here, uh, we it's a $9 cigar. It didn't have as much of a complexity to it. There was a little bit of that bitter Connecticut notes that I got in it. There was some cedar and citrus and pepper and spice and syrup that was coming through. It comes in this nice cedar sleeve. There are 4 actual Vitolas involved in this now, but the Corona is the latest addition to it. Very well crafted cigar. Had a little flat burn cone there, decent, very nice burn line to it. A little bit off near the end. Overall, this was consistent across multiple samples. Had a nice, it had this wavy burn, kind of a medium gray ash, and had that mild bitterness. Again, comes in at a 91, so a very fine cigar. I don't recall if I talked about this last week. I took a look at the HVC Hotcake Liguieto number 5. As a matter of fact, I did talk about this last week, so we won't get into the details here other than this is a spectacular cigar. It's also something that a lot of people are trending on social media over the last year. This is a fabulous cigar. HVC does a great job on what they put out. In the news, we'll come down here. So we had put out 2 Taking It to Nub episodes. One was the protocol one, and the other one was the end of the year one with Abe Smokin. Those are now out on the YouTube channel, post-produced. You can go out and read that. You can watch that show if you want on the YouTube channel. If you do, all I ask is just subscribe. It helps. Mombacho announced they brought back the founder, Cam Heaps, now as their new corporate president. So he's taken the reins now for Mombacho Cigars. The TAA has decided to donate $50,000 to PCA to aid state advocacy. So TAA get involved pretty heavy with PCA to help out with state advocacy mission that's going on. This is a big thing because we all know that there are taxes going up everywhere. Big states like New York and California are ridiculous. It's almost punishing in their taxes. I really feel bad for the cigar shops and lounges in those states and how they can actually survive in all of what's going on here. And of course, we all know that the state's not going to make the revenue, so they're going to learn to, once again, probably lower the taxes and they'll get more revenue. That's how that's going to work. Crown Heads is bringing back we'll open this one up. So they're bringing back their limited edition Juarez shots. And if you want to win this limited edition cap, you just click this image here. It'll take you to the page where it can tell you how you can go win that cap. And that's a pretty cool cap. So these are very limited. There's 550 count cabinet boxes being sold of these. And the news of the week, and I'll just come up here real quick. The other thing Mombacho did was hire Jared Ingressiano as a new director of global sales. So once Cam got in, he's reforming the company in the way he wants it to work. So we'll see what's coming out from Mombacho going forward. This is the news of the week. We've talked about this. So Ace Prime, who is owned partially by Luciano Morales and by Tabacalero Pichardo. If you don't know them, you learn a little bit about who they are. They're in Nicaragua. He's taken some trips to Jalapa, where his farms are, and he's been really, let me just say, he's not happy with what he sees. And the scariest thing was this little boy right here. This little boy, he's 30 pounds in the size of an 8-year-old child. He was abandoned by his mother and father when he was a baby. The 78-year-old grandfather works in the fields and also sells spices and stuff that he grows on his own land to take care of him. He can hardly walk. He can't get up. You got to tie him to a chair when his father's in the field so he doesn't eat the chicken feces off the ground. These are all true things that are coming out. And he was so heartbroken when he saw this, and he talked to them, that they've set up a charity. These are just some of the pictures of the people that are in dire help in Jalapa. And for those that don't know Jalapa, we all know Esteli, we know Jalapa by the leaf that we in a blend, but Jalapa is very much north of Esteli. It is an extreme farming town. It's mostly all tobacco fields, and it's all indigenous Indians that work there. They're tribal, okay? These folks actually, cousins marry cousins still. So there's a lot of special needs children and adults that are involved in the Jalapa area, he's discovered. So what they did is they connected with the Nicaragua Hurricane Relief Fund and the Exodus Road, which is the charity that is to stop human trafficking. And if you go to this link, it'll take you to a special fundraiser for this hurricane relief fund, but he's trying to raise about 50,000 right now to build a daycare center. They're matching, their foundation's matching this dollar for dollar as you go in. And if we go there right now, we can see where they're at. So we've got, so far since we started this, was $4,300 raised so far. If you want to do something great for the cigar community, if you as a consumer want to help out the people that are growing and making your favorite cigars, you might want to get on board with this and help out. This is an important charity. There's a lot more going on. I've started kind of a campaign with some folks where we haven't released all the announcements on it, but there's a lot more coming out on this. This has become my new thing that I am so, when I saw this and I talked to Luciano on the phone, I said, I felt a calling in my heart to say, I got to do something. Okay. There's enough of us out there. This community that we're in is big enough to take care and help out here. So, I'll talk to you, Ricky. You've been in Nicaragua. You've been to Jalapa.
Yeah, I have, and it's sad. It is sad. Yeah, I know the manufacturers try to take care of these people, but there's only so much that they can do. So that they need help. They need their help, and so for me to you, I don't know how we do this. We can talk offline, but it's one thing for somebody to give some money, and from their heart. But I've always said, okay, if you want to give for this project, I want to give you something to thank you for giving for this project. So maybe we can do a series, or I don't know how we do it, and we can talk, but if I send you some cigars, and especially Anaconda, that you are never ever going to receive again, what's your value? And so right now for Anaconda, yeah, I would say for Anaconda, where they're last, what would you donate for the cigar? I don't care if it's $10 or $100. We're going to give you a cigar, and so that's what I can do for your fans that want to donate something. But I know it's harder than it sounds, because okay, I have to receive the money and then I have to ship it out. We can do whatever we can, but this is a good cause. A lot of companies out there focus on their employees in their factories, and left to fend for themselves are the farmers, and they get left out a lot of things. And so every manufacturer has some type of school, or they're supporting a local school and giving money, but we tend not to think about the hardest job out there is harvesting and growing tobacco. And so if I can't do anything for you, if I can send you 4 boxes, one Amazon, one, whatever here's a cigar. What do you think the value of this cigar from your heart is? If it's $20, $50, we're going to send you the cigar, and you cannot ever get the cigar again. And so if you want to do this and you want to take on this, this hard work to receive and ship, I would do that for us. Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk some more offline on that.
Yeah.
The other thing that I know that we're doing with a group of fellow enthusiasts, friends of mine, we Zoom all the time. We're working on creating a challenge coin,
Mhm, mhm.
okay, that would also be kind of a thing. And we're trying to figure out how getting the design work done right now, but it's going to be a challenge coin that's, hashtag, help NICA families.
Right.
These people need help, and we can walk around and we enjoy what we enjoy in America. And don't get me wrong, there's some really hard down people here in America, but when you go over there and you realize that some of these people make $2 a week to do what they
Right.
do, and they have children that are special needs, and there's nobody to care for them. That to me is just humanity has to step up. And I don't know if the Nicaraguan government does anything about that, but we certainly can do something, and we're doing everything we can to make this happen. So this is a big
Yeah.
thing. I know this is the show. Maybe you don't want to hear all of this, everybody, but it's a
No,
passion of mine at this point to put it out there.
I think, when you go to as many shops that I visit and the many people I touch, when we get to start to talk about the workers in the factories and the farms, they are like listening intensely because they know the value of the joy they get from cigars. And so, if they can ever give back to these families that they need help, bro, I think you're right. I think you're going to be surprised of how much people are willing to give because again, what is $20 to us right now? I don't care. It's nothing because we have a great country. Whatever you think of this country right now, I have been all over this world, and every time I get back to this country, it is the best country in this world.
Absolutely.
I've been to China, I've been to Europe, I've been everywhere. This is the best country, believe it, because you don't want to deal with some of these what these people have to deal with in their governments. Yeah, we're kind of everybody's on the fence. I'm voting for this guy and this guy. It's all bullshit. It is all bullshit. We have lights come on every time you go to your switch and turn it. It's on. Every country doesn't have the
No,
ability to turn on a light, to run your water, to drink a clean glass of water, to go to the hospital. Poor, rich, you can visit a hospital in this country and get service. And so when you go to Nicaragua and Honduras and New Mexico and all they don't have that. They don't have that.
I can tell you the story when I was in Esteli a couple of years ago, and we were staying in a hotel, right. You know what a casino is,
Mhm, mhm,
Nestle? It's right
mhm,
diagonally across the street.
mhm.
And it's really not, I mean, it's where the road has like a dirt road off to the side. So it was a hotel. It was, whatever. But the way this thing worked was you had to knock on the door at night to get in. They had to come down to people that ran it, lived there. So the bathroom in the hotel, the toilet, you had to jiggle it or you had to open up the tank and just fix it so it wouldn't overflow. And if it overflowed, it flowed into the bathroom. The bathroom was designed so it flowed into the shower and down the drain. So not a big deal, right? So it didn't flood out the whole room. But I recognized that. Well, I was there with my wife and some friends, and my wife she didn't do the thing when she came out. We were going on a tour. We were gone for the whole day. We came back, and the man and the woman that ran the hotel were irate, okay, and they had our host at at the front entrance, and they were kind of in a Spanish argument about. And I said, "What's going on?" And she looks at me. She says, "You emptied the hotel of all its water." I said, "What do you mean I emptied the hotel? What are you talking about?" Well, what happens is in Nicaragua, the water towers are on top of the buildings. They
Mhm,
feed the
mhm,
hotel,
mhm.
right? The water. All the water flowed out of the toilet into the shower and down the drain. And we drained the hotel of there was
Right.
no water in the hotel.
Mhm.
All
It's
right.
amazing. It's
Just
amazing.
picture that concept. That's how Nicaragua is. And of course, I said, it's my fault. Your
Right,
toilet.
right,
Come on, give me
right,
a break. Right. And they had to go
right.
settle something out. There was
Yeah,
something they had to go deal with. But yeah, no, that's how it is. And Nicaragua is one of the poorest countries in all of Central America.
yeah, it
Okay.
is. But realize too that when you go to the factories and you really meet these people, they're happy. They're happy for different reasons that we're happy in America. They're happy to know that they have a chicken for dinner tonight because maybe we don't have anything to eat tomorrow night. And so they lived life like we should live life. Like every day is special. Every day is a blessing. We're because we're in this beautiful country, we're thinking about 10 years from now, 20 years from now. These guys in these factories don't think over a week because they know a week is an eternity to get through. But they're happy because they have jobs in these, their factories, and they're very supportive of the factory. As when guests walk in, they want to stand up and clap because they realize you're feeding my family, and this something like it's so foreign to us.
Yeah.
When's the last time you walked into any business in America and every employee stands up? Oh my God, you're supporting our family. Nobody does that because we don't, but they do. And so, yeah, to support this cause is a great cause. These people need help. For you to share $10, $20, $50 of your life, I guarantee you're going to be more joy in your heart than you can say, I'm going to go and buy a steak dinner tonight for $50.
Buy a latte and
Yeah, it
$2 in
really,
the tip
yeah,
jar.
there's, but it is a horrible, but again, it is the situation they live on, and they do survive, and so I know my factory workers. When I go there, I can't wait to see them and give them something from my heart to a t-shirt, a hat, a lighter. These guys like go crazy, crazy because they're always asking me, Ricky, how does the guys in America love our cigars? Please tell me they love our cigars. Every manufacturer hears those stories. Everybody, and it's a great thing because what we're doing is a hobby. We're smoking cigars as a hobby. I've been smoking now for 35 years. I can walk away. It's not like cigarettes. If you
Not
don't,
at all.
if you take my cigarettes away from me, I'm going to kill you. You take my cigars away, I'll kill you because of one thing, you're taking my friendships away. That the ability to connect to people. There's a reason we go to the shops because you go to shops like, oh my God, look at this. Where else can I have a conversation with a truck driver, an attorney, a doctor, a NASA engineer, and they're all in the same shop? So, what are you smoking?
Yeah,
Who are you? Sit down with me and talk to me. Really?
that's it. And
And
we
so
solve a lot of problems if they'd only listen to us.
it's amazing. Jimmie, my best friendships out of the last 20 years has been through cigar shops and companies and doing this. It's just amazing.
When I had my 60th birthday, my wife was like, what do you want to do? I said, well, I think we should have it at my local cigar shop. And we were making the list. And I was going through the list. Now, if this was, 30 years ago, I've been smoking cigars 42 years, but the real
Right?
camaraderie and everything, 30 years. And I started making a list and said, the only people I know other than my family and a couple of other close friends in town that I've known over the years
Mhm.
are all cigar people. So I
Yeah,
have to have this in a cigar shop,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm sorry for those that come and don't like it. Well, you can come in, say hi, have a drink, go outside.
It's my birthday.
Hey,
It's my birthday.
it's my birthday, but
Yeah,
I went through the list and I'm
yeah,
building the list of names, making all the invite. I'm sitting there, I'm going, out of 100 people, I would say 85 people
right.
were
Yeah.
cigar people. you know, and those are the friends. Those are the people I've gotten to befriend over the years. Yeah, that's exactly what this is about. All walks of life, and I love it, and we all do. And that's I don't understand why we get all this pressure because it's our little world. Leave our world alone,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it
So,
is. Like Cigar Dave's. The pleasure police are out there fighting what you enjoy
yeah,
every day, because we need more people. Again, I hate cigarettes. I hate them.
yeah,
I
me
hate
too.
the aroma of them. I hate to see people smoking. But if I had a vote right now, keep cigarettes legal, would you? Yes, yes, because we need more people to say, you know what, I am not that guy, but that guy has a right to do whatever he wants. I want to
Right.
vote for that,
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's they're adults. It's adult products.
Right.
Keep it out of young people. It's an adult
Yeah.
product. You make a choice. You know what it is. There's nobody out there telling you that it's not bad for you. Okay, there's nobody telling you that you shouldn't smoke it. Okay, you could say that all you want. You can, I mean, be honest with you. I don't even have a problem with some packaging that's as much as it destroy. You know, I put a like a freaking cellophane and put all the stupid stickers on it, like they do in Europe. You're like, hey, who cares? Okay, it doesn't stop the cigar smoker. And
It
if you
doesn't.
go and back when this battle began, right? They were talking about they're going to eliminate these brands off the market. It's like, why would you want to eliminate these other brands? Because in the end, if I take a brand off a shelf because it's not grandfathered in or it's not
Mhm.
predicate, all this bullshit that they throw at you, it's not going to stop me from going into a cigar shop on a shelf and pick a cigar off because there's always going to be cigars. Unless you're completely outlawed, there's going to be cigars there. So what is it?
Mhm.
What's the difference if it's a cigar that came out 10 years ago is still in production or a brand new blend that just came out?
Mhm.
Nothing. So why
Nothing.
fight that battle? Wrong
And
battle.
our side, we don't want it, because when you take our enemy, the guys that we're fighting against away, we know what the reason we love to smoke everybody's cigars, because it builds your brand up, because you have to challenge yourself to be better and do a better job. If they're all the same, you know what, call it in the day, because it's all the same. But we love the challenge. When I smoke a Fuente or Popine or a Rocky Patel, what the fuck, this is great. Can we do this or better? And it challenge you as a manufacturer to always strive for better, never resting on your morals of yesterday. Oh, you have Flathead. So Flathead is the number one selling cigar in General Cigar's history. Do we just quit because we no? What's next? What's next? I want to reach that top again with another line, and so I love it. I love the. I want more players out there. The more the merrier, because it makes everybody happy. Because at the end of the day, your cigar smokers love it, because let us battle and give you guys great cigars.
All right, I'm going to spotlight you for a second again. We're going to do a quick, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to give you a quick lightning round.
Okay.
Simple questions. Don't get too crazy with it. First question, based on what we just talked about, what is your favorite boutique cigar out there?
Right now, I think Alan Bradley's Magic Toast. It's one that I what is this? What is this? I think Alan Bradley did a great job of that line. I know it's not new, but it's one of my favorite good go-to cigars outside of General Cigar.
Okay. Next question. Same question everybody gets. Real simple.
Mhm.
Skirts or pantsuits?
Oh, yeah, ah, hmm. You know what? pantsuits for me. Yeah, I
Boom!
really,
You are the
yeah,
first one to say that so far.
really, I just love a lady that fits it right. I don't, it's got to fit right, but yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
What is your favorite vacation destination spot?
I would think right now, if I had to go anywheres, I would go to Split in Croatia. That captured my heart. We're beach guys, so anything beach related. But Split, if you've never been to Split in Croatia, go. It'll steal your heart. The people, the food. It's cross between living in Italy and Greece. And if you like Italy's food and Greece food, go to Split because that is where the road meets and this country takes off.
All right. Last question. Favorite comedian, living or dead?
George Carlin was always one of my favorites. And then Richard Pryor, but George Carlin would be my go-to if I can experience that one time. I would do George Carlin for sure.
Awesome.
We're showing our age. We're showing our age.
No, but George is by far.
Yeah.
Actually, I got kind of a George looking thing going on.
Yeah.
I went from a Jerry Garcia to a George Carlin look. But no, great. And I'll tell you, one of the best skits he ever did was how they invented golf. Hey,
I like baseball and football. What's the
okay.
difference between baseball and football? So God bless them. I miss them already.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the last word before I close it out. Anything you want to say?
Just keep enjoying cigars. If you can, just visit CAO and maybe we have a cigar for you. But it doesn't upset us as a manufacturer that you say my favorite cigar is XYZ. It doesn't have anything to do with. Just enjoy cigars and make that friendship. And sometimes when you walk in the shop, leave your phone outside of your car and go in the shop and meet somebody new because they will change your life for the better. And so you're going to have a friend that you're going to have for the rest of life because you have this connection called cigars. So do yourself a favor. Sometimes disengage yourself, go to a cigar shop, sit there, light a cigar, and talk to the gentleman or the lady beside you. What are you doing? What's your name? And can you help me through life?
Okay, fantastic. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank you very much, Ricky and CEO in general, for your generosity. People are going to be a lot of these gifts I talked about. We have more of them. We're going to be putting these out on taking it to the nub next week on the Wheel of Wonderfulness, and the following week we're going to have a very special guest, kind of a unique show. I just want to share something here. We're going to have a tailor, a men's custom tailor. Big cigar guy, lives out of Boston. His name is Alan Relu. Okay. This guy makes custom suits, custom shirts, and smoking jackets. Okay.
Really?
We're gonna have so much fun talking about clothing, why clothing doesn't fit you off the rack, what he does to fix all of that to make you a very unique, tailored to you piece of clothing, whether it be pants, suits, shirts, smoking jackets. So we're gonna have fun with Alan next week. So tune in for that. It'll be an awesome show, very unique. Nobody's had the tailor on, so we're gonna have some fun with that. And then after that, we've got some more shows lined up. We'll be talking about that next week. Again, Ricky, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. Really, I had a great time, and we'll talk on Monday about raising some money and some sponsorships because I want to really support you because this is a great show. Your fan base is something we need in this industry. So if I could be a part of it through your show, count me out.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, again. This is Boston Jimmie out, Stogie Press. Peace. Everybody have a rest of your weekend. Hope it's wonderful. Thanks, Ricky.
Go Bucks. Go
Go
Bucks.
Bucks. Well, that's next week. That's next week. Yes.
Well, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna see you next week. I have your player playing for us.
No, I'm a Bucks fan now, dude.
Oh,
I mean,
love you,
I
bro.
follow quarterbacks,
Yeah.
and I've been with Brady since
Oh,
forever,
sure.
right? But before him, it was Elway, so I was a Denver fan, and then I was in a funk, couldn't figure anybody out. When Brady came, I stuck with him through thick and thin. He had a couple of, slightly off seasons, but still always entertaining. And what he did this year,
It's amazing. It's amazing.
how do you come out as a quarterback on a new team in a completely different league with different teams to play against through a regular season and take that team all the way to the Super Bowl, win or lose? The guy
With no practice at the beginning of the season, just start. Game one, there it is.
That's it,
Go.
man.
And so that shows you the power of the GOAT.
The power of the GOAT and the power of perseverance and tenacity all the way through.
Amazing.
And whether it's on the gridiron or in business or in life, just have that perseverance. Stick to it. Stick to what you're going to do, and you'll be successful. Ricky,
All right, guys.
it's been great.
Thank you so much, bro. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the time, and I'll definitely see